Very disappointed, very disappointed.
Ahead on Q2, drowning in high water bills.
Of your dozen units, how many saw water issues?
As far as I know, all of them.
A class action lawsuit now on the table as Billings residents refuse to pay up. Plus, honoring lives lost.
They're always going to be your friends, and I'm regretting that I didn't stop and see them.
As the manhunt continues in Anaconda, loved ones pay tribute to those who were killed. The MTN 430 News starts right now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight, an update on the city's water bills and ongoing billing problems. Now residents are looking into filing a class action complaint against the city over the trouble, even gaining traction through a growing Facebook group. Still, bills remain unpaid. Our Charlie Kleps has the latest.
At first, it didn't seem possible.
There was a mistake somewhere. Like this is not real.
Some Billings property owners just couldn't believe the expensive water bills they were receiving.
Let me just reach out, bring it to somebody's attention. They'll go back, it'll be fixed.
Initially, there was faith corrections would be made.
The response I got pretty consistently was, yeah, no, that's your usage.
But no, these turned out to be real bills, and residents found no way to fight back.
We're going to dodge the question and don't bother me. Go away and just pay your bill.
As the stories and bills piled up,
it's just really confusing. I'm still trying to figure out what's on here.
That is most of my paycheck. A lot of people are going through the same thing.
2 months was $408.81.
An $1,150 water bill.
Questions remained unanswered, and a community got restless. Public Works says as of late July, there's still over 4,200 customers with unresolved bills. That's nearly 11% of the city's total bills.
Everybody was up in arms. This wasn't happening to one or two people. It was happening to many, many people. So at that point, I realized we've got some concerns.
But is legal action a viable option? And if so, how far could a class action go? That's what Ed Johnson and Gary Zach were wondering. So they contacted 2 attorneys and started collecting data to see what legal rights they have. So far, nothing has been filed, but the lawyers enlisted have had a previous successful case against the city of Billings.
The more people that step up and have information that they can give us, the more interested attorneys get.
It would just be nice for somebody within the city to step up and say, it's my job to take responsibility for this.
City Administrator Chris Kukulski told me in an email he's happy to meet with upset water users. If a group of potential litigants wants to meet, I will meet with them anywhere and at any time.
Admitting a mistake is not a weakness. There's nothing wrong with that.
And it's that type of accountability Johnston and Zach are most hopeful for.
Anytime you go legal, it's not good for anybody.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
A Missoula judge slams the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for illegally stripping federal protections from gray wolves, ruling the agency violated the Endangered Species Act. The court says federal wildlife officials failed to use the best available science, a core requirement they decided last year. Western wolves are no longer warranting protections. The ruling follows a heated June hearing in Missoula where government lawyers clashed with environmental groups over the future of the species. Now the judge has ordered the Fish and Wildlife Service to revisit whether wolves should be relisted. The manhunt for accused killer Michael Brown continues, and the town of Anaconda is still in shock. Brown is accused of walking into the Owl Bar last Friday and gunning down 4 people before vanishing into the mountains. Tonight, MTN's Megan Elaine is in Anaconda, where loved ones are mourning and remembering those lost.
The people of Anaconda are continuing to remember and mourn the lives that were lost last Friday.
So I just hit town, but I wanted to find out about a funeral.
I met with Gary Satterley at the JFK Bar, a place that's familiar to many in Anaconda. He'd driven from northern Idaho searching for answers and for a way to say goodbye to his old friend, Tony Wayne Palm. Tony was one of the 4 people killed in last week's shooting at the Owl Bar.
I don't know, he's a regular down there, so in the morning, so I figured, I was worried that he got shot. He was one of them.
When Gary heard the news, he had a feeling, one he hoped wasn't right. But tonight, he sits at the bar just down the street, grappling with loss. Along with Tony Palm, 64-year-old Nancy Loretta Kelly, 70-year-old David Allen Leach, and 59-year-old Daniel Edwin Bailey were also killed.
Tony was not the kind of a guy that people would have a grudge against.
Gary remembers growing up with Tony, adventures in the hills, driving trucks, and getting muddy.
We traveled and camped out in these hills all over, so we had a good time.
The years pass, their paths drifted apart. When Gary got sober, he stopped going to the places where he used to see Tony.
Our journeys separated right there, but, we're still good friends.
He says he'd always meant to stop in, to catch up, share stories, tell Tony about a herd of cows he's been raising.
And I was going to stop, but I was in a rush, thought I was. And I kind of regret now not stopping.
Now he's waiting in town for word on the funeral, for a chance to pay his respects, and for some kind of closure.
They're always going to be your friends, and I'm regretting that I didn't stop and see him.
In Anaconda, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
Tonight, an Army sergeant is in custody after police say he opened fire on fellow soldiers at Fort Stewart in Georgia. 5 soldiers were shot inside the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area. All are now in stable condition and being treated at a nearby hospital. Fort Stewart is the largest Army post east of the Mississippi. The White House says President Trump has been briefed on the situation and he is closely monitoring it.
Mainly the 80s this afternoon across anywhere in the eastern plains of Montana to the low 90s, 91 in Miles City. Check out 98 for you down in Moreland, Wyoming, 93 in Sheridan, and upper 80s around Billings, Cody, Livingston. Get into the western portion of the state and already seeing some cooler temperatures, 70s from Kalispell over to Cutbank, but that's where we're seeing the clouds and the showers starting to move in. That's the leading edge of a cold front that's going to move across the area tonight heading into tomorrow. It's going to take a little bit of time. Thunderstorms starting to develop here south of Ekalaka and Carter County and along the Wyoming state line. The forecast details coming up.
It has been a year since an explosion at Yellowstone's Biscuit Basin, sending steam and debris hundreds of feet into the air, just inches from visitors on a nearby boardwalk. The USGS has released a video this week showing how geologists studied rocks launched by the blast. They believe pressure built up after minerals carried by water sealed the shallow system until it blew. No one was hurt, but the area is still closed. Since then, over 50 earthquakes have been recorded in July alone, with new cameras and tools tracking every shift. Tonight, we're learning more details about Ghislaine Maxwell's interview with the Department of Justice. CBS News confirms Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator didn't say anything in the interview that would implicate President Trump. Natalie Brand has the latest as accusers speak out.
One of the women who says she was victimized by Jeffrey Epstein appeared alongside her attorney Gloria Allred this afternoon in Los Angeles.
When I see it on the news every day, Jeffrey's in my brain and I see him again and again, and I remember what he did to me in that hotel room. And I feel pain in my heart for myself and all for the other victims.
CBS Mornings also spoke to the family of the late Virginia Giuffre, who became one of the most vocal Epstein accusers. They're questioning the treatment of co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, serving a prison sentence for sex trafficking.
She wasn't a victim like the narrative is trying to change right now. She was an active participant in the abuse.
Why are we listening to a known perjurer? I mean, I think if anybody needs to be heard, it's the survivors.
In Maxwell's roughly 9-hour interview last month with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, a source tells CBS News that she did not say anything that would harm or implicate President Trump.
The interview of Ghislaine Maxwell by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche should be released.
President Trump told reporters he doesn't know what was discussed, but indicated he has complete confidence in the Deputy Attorney General, who previously served as his personal attorney.
I didn't discuss it with him, but anything he talked about with her, or the fact that he did that, not unusual, number one, and most importantly is something that would be totally above board.
Maxwell, who is appealing her case and seeking clemency, is also arguing against the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury testimony in the case. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the Trump administration is pulling $500 million from Myrna vaccine research, the same technology that helped fight the COVID-19 pandemic. In a social media video, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. called the vaccines too risky. The move cancels several major projects by Pfizer and Moderna. But despite Kennedy's claims, top doctors and infectious disease experts say Myrna vaccines remain safe and effective.
The advantage of mRNA is it's much faster to make than a protein vaccine. It's much more efficient. And so when you're in the middle of an emergency, like a COVID pandemic, you want the fastest thing possible, something that you don't have to wait years to develop.
On Tuesday, Kennedy said a universal vaccine that mimics natural immunity is the Trump administration's focus. He said such a vaccine could be effective against coronaviruses and the flu. And coming up on the MTN 530 News, we'll dive into vaccine trends here in Billings and what the health clinics are seeing. If fresh, juicy blueberries are on your summer wish list, you're in luck. With a trip to the Flathead Valley, you could have your pick of your own by a handful. Two Montana families are teaming up to launch a brand new You Pick blueberry patch just west of Kalispell. Sean Wells takes us to the farm for tonight's Montana Egg Report.
Well, these are very healthy, great flavor, and they go well with just about everything.
Cobblers, pies, and vanilla ice cream, to name a few.
I've been making quite a bit of blueberry muffins.
Chris and Stephanie Rash, alongside Danica and Alvin Young, co-own Hidden Meadow Berries off Ashley Lake Road, west of Kalispell.
They just taste really good, and they're really high in antioxidants. They're super healthy for you. It's a great snack or lunch. If you forgot your lunch, it works great.
The families hauled up 5 semi-loads of blueberry bushes from Junction City, Oregon, and planted them in early July.
This one's so full it's bending over here.
Each bush produces roughly 15 to 20 pounds of berries.
We picked one row, thought we cleaned it up, and went back the next day. It looked like we didn't even touch it, so.
900 blueberry bushes now sit on 2 acres on the Young's family property.
We're always up for a new challenge, and I think this is a pretty good challenge to see how we do.
Hidden Meadow Berries offers You Pick by appointment and also sells take-home blueberry bushes.
We have the ability to let's take and give people what they would love to have in their yards. If they don't have the room in their yards, they can come here and pick. And if they want to plant some in their yards, we'll sell these great healthy blueberry bushes to them.
Chris says a take-home blueberry bush costs around $150, while You Pick charges $5 a pound.
Picking something that they can enjoy later, that's cheaper than buying it from the local grocery store.
Hidden Meadow Berries will be open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. until harvest wraps up in early fall.
So far, just eating them plain seems to be the best option. But ice cream is a second, very close second.
In Kalispell, Sean Wells, MTN News.
Still to come on the MTN 430 News on Q2, swinging towards success. 2 Montana youth golfers are now off to Miami as they are hoping to win on a national stage. We'll meet our athletes of the week in just a bit, but first, it is a pleasant day outside. Are there changes in store? Of course, Ed has all of the details in your 7-day forecast. It's coming up after this.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with